Israel looks small on the map, but what happens inside its borders is unlike anything on Earth. Secret technologies, strange laws, hidden bunkers, and cultural contradictions so intense that even travelers call it another planet. Today, we uncover why Israel is considered one of the strangest countries in the world. Join us, and let's begin. Number 12. Yom Kippur turns cities into ghost towns. If you suddenly notice that in Israel, airports, public transportation, radio and television stations go silent, and streets become deserted, don't worry, no disaster is approaching. The people of Israel are observing Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement in Jewish faith. According to tradition, these roads are reserved for pedestrians, cyclists, and non-motorized vehicles. Driving on the Day of Atonement is considered taboo. Many secular Israelis have turned this day into a cycling festival, taking advantage of car-free roads. For traditional and Orthodox Jews, the fasting and prayer period lasts 25 hours, beginning at 5:40 p.m. in Jerusalem and 5:55 p.m. in Tel Aviv. Airports only reopen on October 9th, with arrivals starting at 9:30 p.m., while departures resume at 11:30 p.m. Border crossings also close shortly after noon and reopen at 10 p.m. on October 9th. Likewise, on October 8th at sunset, all national radio and television stations gradually reduce volume until reaching total silence. Public transportation also stops bus and train operations until the end of the next day. Only 2 trains run the night of October 9th, one from Nahariya to Ben Gurion Airport and another from Beersheba to Tel Aviv. The remaining trains resume service on the morning of October 10th. Roads also become free of vehicles from the afternoon of October 8th. The holiday concludes at 6:51 p.m. and 7:13 p.m. on October 9th, when everything returns to normal. The transformation is complete and eerie. Tel Aviv, normally a bustling 24-hour city, becomes a ghost town. Children ride bicycles down the middle of highways. Families walk together on major thoroughfares. The silence feels profound, broken only by prayer services and the occasional bicycle bell. Number 11. Masada Fortress. High up on a rock plateau in the Judean desert sits Masada, and this place tells one of the most dramatic stories you'll ever hear. Picture a flat-topped mountain rising nearly 1,300 feet above the Dead Sea, and on top sits the ruins of palaces and fortifications built by King Herod around 30 BCE. But here's where it gets intense. In 73 CE, Jewish rebels fighting Roman occupation made their last stand here. Nearly 1,000 men, women, and children held out against 15,000 Roman soldiers for months. When the Romans finally built a massive siege ramp and prepared to breach the walls, the defenders faced a choice. Rather than become slaves, they chose death. The story says they drew lots to select 10 men who would kill everyone else. Then those 10 drew lots again until one man remained to complete the act and take his own life. Archaeologists found the 11 pottery shards used for this final lottery. Today, you can climb up before sunrise to watch dawn break over the desert, or take a cable car to explore the ancient bathhouses, storerooms, and palaces. The site became a symbol of Jewish resistance and determination. Israeli soldiers used to take their oath of service here, declaring, "Masada shall not fall again." The view alone is worth the trip. You're standing where desperate people made impossible choices, where history turned tragic, where the ruins whisper stories of courage and catastrophe. I'm going to ask you a simple question. Are you a naturally curious person? If you're watching, I'm pretty sure the answer is yes. This space is made for people like us. To ensure you're always part of this community and receive all our latest discoveries, you just need to do one thing: subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to stay connected with us. Okay, now that you're part of our Legion of the Curious, let's move on to the next item. Number 10. Yad Vashem Holocaust Memorial Museum. Yad Vashem sits on Mount Herzl in Jerusalem, and walking through this Holocaust memorial changes people. The main museum tunnels through the mountain, a concrete passage that takes you chronologically through the Nazi rise to power, ghettos, deportations, camps, and finally liberation. Photos of victims line the walls. Personal items fill display cases: shoes, letters, toys, glasses. Video testimonies play in dark rooms. The architecture itself tells the story. You walk through tight, claustrophobic spaces, then suddenly emerge into bright light overlooking Jerusalem. The symbolism hits hard. From darkness to light, from death to rebirth, from destruction to the creation of Israel. The Children's Memorial devastates visitors. You walk through complete darkness while mirrors reflect candlelight infinitely in every direction. A voice reads names, ages, and countries of origin of the 1.5 million Jewish children murdered in the Holocaust. The names continue endlessly. The Hall of Names contains testimony pages and photographs of Holocaust victims, shelves reaching to the ceiling, millions of lives documented. Empty shelves wait for names still unknown. The Valley of the Communities shows a maze of stone walls carved with names of 5,000 Jewish communities destroyed. Israeli schoolchildren visit on organized trips. Foreign dignitaries lay wreaths. Survivors come to remember. The place serves as both museum and memorial, education center and sacred ground. Photography is limited out of respect. The experience leaves visitors shaken, angry, sad, and understanding more clearly why Israel exists and why it takes security so seriously. Number 9. Tel Aviv White City, Bauhaus Architecture Capital. Tel Aviv holds the world's largest concentration of Bauhaus buildings, over 4,000 structures painted white to reflect the brutal Middle Eastern sun. This isn't some accident of history. In the 1930s, Jewish architects fled Nazi Germany and brought their modernist training to this young city rising from the sand dunes. They adapted Bauhaus principles to Mediterranean climate, creating something unique. Long balconies for shade, small windows to keep out heat, pillars lifting buildings off the ground for air circulation, flat roofs for sleeping on hot nights. The result became known as White City, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Walking through neighborhoods like Rothschild Boulevard feels like time traveling to a 1930s vision of the future. These buildings were revolutionary when built. No decoration, no frills, just clean lines and functional design. Critics called them ugly. Residents called them practical. Now they're protected landmarks. Some have been restored to pristine condition, painted brilliant white with period furniture inside. Others crumble and fade, their balconies sagging, their stucco peeling. The contrast between renovated and decaying Bauhaus buildings tells its own story about preservation, gentrification, and how cities decide what history to keep. Young people pose for Instagram photos against these geometric backgrounds. Architects study them. Tourists walk special routes to see the best examples. This architectural movement that started in Germany found its fullest expression on the beaches of Tel Aviv. Number 8. The Bar and Bat Mitzvah ceremony marks adulthood in Israel. In our society, children become adults after turning 18 years old. But in Jewish society, they're considered adults only after participating in a ceremony called Bar or Bat Mitzvah. According to Jewish law, boys go through this rite of passage to adulthood at 13 years old, while girls do so at 12. Following this tradition, at that age, young people become adults and take responsibility for their actions. Before that age, parents bear responsibility for their children's actions, but once reached, the young people themselves assume responsibility for following Jewish laws, traditions, and ethics. They can also participate fully in Jewish community life. According to tradition, the father thanks God for no longer being punished for his child's sins. Additionally, children who pass through this rite are considered fit to pray and lead religious activities. The Bar or Bat Mitzvah ceremony typically takes place on the first Sabbath after the child's 13th birthday for boys or 12th for girls. According to tradition, at 13 years old, the evil inclination awakens and the child rejects their father's idolatry and begins worshiping God. During the ceremony, the person must read Jewish scriptures and put on tefillin on their head and arm, boxes with sacred texts on the head and straps on the arm, symbolizing God's word. Families celebrate with parties, meals with relatives, friends, and the community. In some Jewish communities, young people receive an adulthood certificate. In other Jewish communities, the ceremony is called Bar Aracha in Aramaic, meaning son of blessing. To honor and recognize Jewish tradition, some Christians also organize bar or bat mitzvah ceremonies for their children with special blessings. This ceremony proves truly fascinating, but recognizing 12 or 13-year-olds as adults generates certain instability in Jewish society, especially regarding early marriage and parenthood. However, if you attend, respect what they do and refrain from giving your opinion to avoid uncomfortable stares. Number 7. The peculiar hats of Jewish men in Israel. Many people ask this question, including me. How do Jewish men wear such small hats without them falling off? It really looks peculiar, doesn't it? The small round cap Jewish men wear is called a kippah or yarmulke. According to Jewish teachings, the top of the head touches heaven. Therefore, this area must not remain uncovered, but should be covered with a hat or cloth. This practice has become an important custom among Jewish people. Jews believe in monotheism and worship God Jehovah. They consider the top of the head connected with heaven, which must not stay exposed and should be covered with fabric as a sign of respect. This custom continued even after their nomadic life ended. Jewish men must pay attention to keeping the cap stable when wearing it, since it originates from Jewish tradition and faith. For devout men, this round cap serves an important symbol of respect for God. However, the cap is small and made of soft material, so it tends to slip or fly away with the wind. To prevent it from falling, Jews invented various methods to secure it. The most common method uses metal hairpins, generally long and thin, to keep the cap firmly attached to the hair. Some apply a small amount of quick-drying glue or other adhesives inside the cap to fix it to the scalp. Though this method holds strong, it can feel uncomfortable when removing. Others use chewing gum or paper inside the cap to increase friction with the scalp, though this method only works a few times. For bald men, double-sided tape or other materials can stick the cap directly to the scalp. This greatly improves stability, but you need to watch the frequency of use to avoid damaging skin. With advances in science and technology, more modern methods for wearing these caps have emerged, like keypad with magnets for attachment or even integrated microfans that generate suction. These novel methods offer a more secure experience for bald men. Number 6. Bomb shelters in every building and home in Israel. Walk into almost any Israeli apartment, house, or building, and you'll find something that doesn't exist in most countries: a bomb shelter. Israeli building codes require every residential structure to include a reinforced safe room or access to a communal shelter. These aren't dusty Cold War relics. They're modern, maintained spaces that residents use regularly because the threat of rocket attacks remains real. During periods of conflict, air raid sirens send millions of Israelis running to these shelters. Families keep them stocked with water, snacks, flashlights, and entertainment for children. Some people use them as storage rooms or extra bedrooms during peaceful times, but they're always ready to serve their primary purpose. Schools conduct regular drills. Children learn from a young age what the different siren patterns mean and how quickly they need to reach safety. The Iron Dome missile defense system intercepts many incoming rockets, but not all. The shelter system provides a crucial backup. New buildings must include these protected spaces rated to withstand nearby explosions and gas attacks. The standard changed after the Gulf War when Iraqi Scud missiles hit Israel. Now, every home includes this reminder that normal life exists alongside constant security concerns. Visitors often find the shelters jarring evidence of Israel's unique situation. Living with this level of preparation would seem paranoid in most places, but here it's simply practical. Number 5. Women carrying rifles on the beach in Israel. Many Americans assume the United States has the most relaxed gun control in the world, but they often overlook Israel's weapon-carrying rates. Almost anywhere in this country, you can see Israelis with rifles slung over their shoulders walking down the street, including many young women. The reason these Israeli girls carry weapons has solid foundations. These women are almost all soldiers currently serving or who have served in Israel's regular army. According to Israel Defense Forces regulations, even during off hours, all soldiers on active duty and in the reserves must carry their weapons at all times. This directly explains why many of them carry rifles even when wearing beach clothes. Carrying rifles has become standard equipment for Israeli female soldiers. Social media circulates many photos of Israeli girls showing themselves with weapons on one side and summer clothing on the other. Seeing these images, some people don't understand what kind of outfit these young women are wearing, how they can be ready for combat while posing like this every day. Some even suggest authorities should supervise them more closely. Actually, it's the complete opposite. To attract more young women to enlist, the Israeli army encourages female soldiers to post the coolest photos on social media to showcase the good spirit of the defense forces. Today, women represent approximately 34% of the regular army and 57% of officers. Up to 92% of positions in the army are open to Israeli women, something unprecedented in the world that exists in no other country. According to Israel Defense Forces statistics, between 1962 and 2016, 575 female soldiers died in combat activities. This isn't just some symbolic gesture of equality. These women serve in combat roles, intelligence units, piloting aircraft, and commanding troops on the front lines. Number 4. Mahane Yehuda Market, organized chaos of flavors. Step into Mahane Yehuda Market in Jerusalem and your senses get attacked from every direction. Vendors shout prices in Hebrew, Arabic, and broken English. Spices pile in pyramids of red, yellow, and brown. Fresh halva gets sliced with wire cutters. Pomegranate juice machines spray pink liquid into cups. Old men argue over the quality of olives. The market sprawls across several streets, hundreds of stalls crammed together selling everything from fresh fish to dried fruits, artisan cheeses to cheap household goods. During the day, it's a neighborhood market where locals shop for Shabbat dinner ingredients, haggling over prices and sampling before buying. Juice vendors blend fresh combinations on the spot. Bakeries sell buraka straight from the oven. Butchers hack at hanging meat. The organized chaos follows invisible rules that only regulars understand. But at night, especially Thursday nights, the place transforms completely. Metal shutters come down on produce stalls and bars open up. Restaurants spread tables between the closed shops. DJs set up equipment. Young people pack the narrow alleys, drinking, dancing, and eating street food. The same space that sold vegetables to grandmothers in the morning now pulses with electronic music and 20-somethings. This double life captures something essential about Israeli culture: the mixing of sacred and secular, traditional and modern, everyday and exceptional. You can buy ingredients for a religious holiday meal in the afternoon and party until dawn in the same location that night. Number 3. Forbidden actions before visiting the Dead Sea in Israel. The Dead Sea sits on the border between Israel and Jordan, attracting countless tourists with its mineral-rich salt water and therapeutic properties. But visitors who arrive unprepared can experience serious discomfort. The water contains extremely high concentrations of salt and minerals that penetrate skin easily through pores and the epidermis. Before visiting this famous body of water, you should avoid anything that makes your skin sensitive, like shaving, waxing, or removing hair, unless you enjoy extreme discomfort for the following days. A blogger from Places People Stories shared how she felt burning sensations the moment she entered the water. She had made the mistake of shaving her legs the night before. Small cuts and scrapes on her body burned intensely when exposed to the salty water. After just 10 minutes of immersion, she had to rush to shore because she couldn't tolerate the burning sensation covering her entire body. Surprisingly, she discovered all her calluses disappeared completely after bathing in the sea. Some people enjoy the sensation of walking barefoot on the crystallized salt beach, but those tiny crystals can cut the soles of your feet. People with sensitive skin should wear footwear even while swimming. You must avoid splashing water or rubbing your eyes while swimming, since the water causes severe irritation if it gets in them. Rinsing with fresh water after your Dead Sea dip becomes essential to clean salt residue from your skin. Number 2. Tipping waiters becomes mandatory in Israel. This information surprised me, and everyone needs to know about it. In Israel, restaurant and cafe waiters generally receive no fixed salary and depend entirely on customer tips for their income. Tipping transforms from a courtesy into a practical obligation in the service industry, including restaurants, bars, hotels, and similar establishments. Although no specific regulations govern tipping, leaving between 10% and 15% of the total bill represents standard practice. Sometimes the tip gets included in the bill already, so check before adding extra. When you're satisfied with the service, leaving a tip shows your appreciation for the waiter's work. In some cases, you give the tip directly to the staff member, while in others, you leave it in a tip jar at the register. This system puts tremendous pressure on service workers, since their livelihood depends entirely on customer generosity rather than guaranteed wages. The practice reflects broader economic structures in Israeli society where certain professions operate on commission or tip-based models. Tourists unfamiliar with this custom sometimes leave inadequate tips or none at all, not realizing they're essentially withholding someone's wages rather than just skipping an optional gesture of gratitude. Number 1. Haifa Baha'i Gardens, Terraced Paradise. The Baha'i Gardens cascade down Mount Carmel in Haifa like something from a fantasy novel. 19 terraces descend the mountainside in perfect geometric precision. Golden-domed shrine at the center, cypress trees standing guard, flowers arranged in patterns so precise they look painted. This isn't a historical site. The gardens were completed in 2001 after decades of construction. They represent the world center of the Baha'i faith, and they're maintained to absolutely ridiculous standards of perfection. Every blade of grass gets trimmed. Every flower blooms on schedule. The symmetry is obsessive. Walking up or down the long staircases feels meditative. The views over Haifa Bay are spectacular. But here's the interesting part. This is a Persian religion's headquarters sitting in Israel, and it works. The Baha'i faith emerged from 19th century Persia and faced persecution there. Its founder was exiled to the prison city of Acre in Ottoman Palestine. After his death, followers built this shrine and gardens to honor him. The Israeli government protects the site. Baha'i pilgrims from around the world visit freely. The gardens themselves are free to enter on designated days, though you can only walk through specific sections. The perfection feels almost artificial, like a master gardener's ultimate achievement, or maybe control taken to its logical extreme. Locals jog on the paths. Tourists snap endless photos. The terraces remain serene, despite thousands of daily visitors. It proves that in this conflicted region, spaces of beauty and peace can still exist and be maintained across religious and cultural lines.
Still curious? Then don't stop now. The next mystery is already waiting for you. Just click the video on screen. I saved it just for you. See you there, curious one.